everyone, this is Lupe from Bruno Planning. Thank you for joining me here for a review of the 2020 Erin Condren Teacher Planner. This is the binder, but the pages are the same as the coiled version. If you are interested in more Erin Condren reviews or how I set up my teacher planner, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when I upload those videos. First, for anyone who does not know, the binder only comes in this retro design. Both the interior pages and the binder are in this design only. The coiled teacher planner comes in this retro design and the kaleidoscope design. This is actually my last year's planner. So starting with the binder itself, I was a little bit iffy about the design because it was very, very bold on the website. But when you actually see it in person, I mean, you can see that it's definitely very colorful, not neutral at all. The colors aren't as in your face, if that makes sense. It's not muted, so you can definitely still see a vibrant color there, but it's not, you know, like a highlighter where it's just coming at you. It's actually very, very pretty, and I love all the different colors. You flip it around, so the design is very similar on the back, and then you have, I don't want to hit my camera, sorry guys, and then you have the same kind of design on the edges. So the personalization, you get to write your name or your school name. This is just my last name in gold foil, and it looks very, very pretty, especially in the sunlight. It is a little bit small, I think, for just how large this binder is, and we'll talk about how big it is, but it is a little bit small. I do wish it was maybe slightly larger than that. I also kind of wish you could write something here, maybe, you know, like the school year, but you do have this gold metal as well on the edges, and then the Erin Condren logo in gold as well. So the size of the binder is very big, and that's of course because you have the 8.5 by 11 pages inside, so that has to accommodate it. And let me bring my ruler so I can show you exactly how big this is. So this is about, I want to say about 11 inches, a little bit less. I am going to like the edge there because it kind of curves. Can you guys see how it curves right here? So I'm just going to the edge, and it is about 11 inches. A little tiny bit less, but about 11, and then it's about a little bit more. I'm trying to adjust it, a little bit more than 12.25 in length, and then 11 in width. So it is pretty big. So let me go ahead and open it here, and it is so bright and so pretty. I really do like this kind of mustard yellow. I do kind of wish it was maybe in one of these blues, just because that's kind of my preference, but this is definitely a really pretty color to have inside. So let me go ahead and measure this for you as it's open so you know how much desk space this is gonna take. So this is about 13 inches, and it's not gonna be completely accurate, but I will try my best here. And it's about 10 3/4, so about 21 inches and 3/4 for the whole thing being completely open. Now this is personally way too big for me to have on my desk. I don't have that much space on my desk at school, neither here in my home, but it is definitely pretty large. But you can definitely take out pages if you want to close it up and work on a specific page. That's definitely doable, of course, because it's a binder. So before we get into any pages, I did want to talk about just the durability of it, how it feels for me. So this is a very smooth binder, and I can feel that it's pretty rigid. It doesn't bend very easily. I can bend it a little bit if I tried. I don't want to, but it's not an easy bend. So it's definitely pretty hard. I am worried a little bit about dirt and how that's gonna hold up throughout the year, just because sometimes dirt's kind of hard to get off. But if it's this smooth, I think maybe just wiping it off would be okay if there's any dirt on it, just taking that into account. The front is also that same smoothness, so I would think that you could just wipe something off maybe with a wet paper towel or something, and you know, nothing too harsh, but I think that should hold up. And of course we won't know until we use it throughout the whole year, and it really kind of depends on how you use it, where you put it down. Do you take it home every day? What kind of bag do you have? So that really affects the wear and tear of this. Okay, but for now, I think overall, I'm impressed with how durable it feels. So of course you have the 3-ring standard binder. This does not have those tabs, just like the Life Planner binders where you open it and it's a little bit easier to open. You do have to use the middle one and open it like that. I personally don't like doing this. I do like those tabs, and I've mentioned this in my other videos as well, just because I feel like if I keep doing this over and over throughout the year, it might start to deform a little bit. Like, actually, if you notice, that was a little uneven, so I had to pop it back in. I mean, it really, I don't know how they're gonna hold up throughout the year. It really depends again on how you use it, and if you're gonna open them more than once every day, you know, really depends on how you use them. But I personally would love if she had added a little tab. I know she said that she didn't for aesthetic reasons and just the way it looked, and I would just maybe prefer something, you know, like those easy ones that you just push and then it opens. I mean, you can make that look pretty, right? I think. One other thing that I would really like is a folder here. I don't know if that's, again, something like aesthetic. Maybe it's a little bit nicer just to have a completely plain front cover and back cover, but I would like just more space, again, just to add some pages pretty easily without having to open the rings, and having a little folder would be really nice here, especially in the front. You can definitely add those stickies that that Erin Condren has in her website. And I think that would work if you want to insert something quickly or something small. So for the pages, this is not the start, so definitely don't think that this is how your teacher planner will start with the binder. These are just a few pages, and I have this for a reason, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. But I did want to show you just how these pages kind of flip on the binder rings. The pages are standard 3-hole punch, so of course they fit nicely. They flip well, just like any binder that you get. I know some people were really hoping for maybe like a D ring instead of this O-ring, just because that always is better in terms of turning and durability and protecting your pages, right? So hopefully that's something that Erin Condren takes into account, especially for a teacher planner, just because we are going to be opening it a lot. We are going to be using it every single day. So having maybe something a little bit more durable like a D-ring would be really nice. But these pages work very well. And of course we have the nice thick paper, as we always do. So as I mentioned, the binder is way too big for me to have open on my desk at all times, and I do want my planner open in case I have to refer to my lesson during class, and just so it's easier to write in. So I specifically bought this binder so that I can convert the guts into discs, and I did that for a few reasons. I wanted the flexibility of the binder, so I wanted to insert any pages with just a punch, really easy, instead of having to use the page protectors that come with the teacher planner and recoiling, which I've had done in the past. And I wanted the functionality of a coiled notebook. It's one book and it can be flipped over, again, just for easier writing. And not to mention, I can punch the Erin Condren covers, so I can use all the ones I've had previously from my coiled teacher planners and any new ones that I decide to buy. And it's still that Erin Condren quality. So this is definitely going to work for me, and we are going to get to the pages inside in a second. I just wanted to mention that now I can carry one semester at a time. So this is one semester only, which is awesome in terms of saving space in the teacher bag that I carry around, which I'm sure you can relate to, those overstuffed bags that we carry to and from work. I just don't need the full year with me at all times. One semester is good for me, and I actually did the first semester and January, so one semester and one more month, just so I have that to plan during the winter break. And I would not have done this if it wasn't easy to do, but it was, and I do encourage you to check out my video on how to do this if that's something that you might want to consider or are interested in, and I will have that link down below. So let's get inside. And first I wanted to mention that you can purchase this planner to start from July to June, August to July, or September to August. And I just wanted to make sure you know that before you purchase, so you have an idea of maybe what months you want to start it ended. This one that I purchased goes from July to June because we start in August and end in May. And I like having the July month at the start of the year in case I have professional developments or summer classes. And again, these binder pages, you can see that they in fact are the binder pages because of the holes, are the same as a coiled retro design version. So the first page is your cover page where you can write your name, and you have that nice retro design that's very similar to the binder. So let me show you that one more time. So there it goes side by side. So pretty when it's all matching, and you can definitely get the same cover design for the coiled, or if you want to turn it into disc like this as well. But it's so beautiful. I do wish that she did include kind of like the vellum that she does in the life planners, just because those are so pretty and they do kind of protect this first page. So I really hope that in the next year or the next few years she maybe develops something very similar for the teacher planner. I would definitely love that, because you don't get that with this binder or with the coiled version. It's just, this is your first page, but it's very pretty. So next you have the All About Me pages and the events and volunteers that have been the same as last year's. I actually used this just to write down my PLT team names and dates that I was absent or leaving early. I know a lot of people repurpose these for different reasons, but this is how it looks, just like that. And then after this, you do have the communications log. So you get 2 pages of that, and then the tab that says communications, or no, sorry, it says contact. So when I contact a parent, I do log that in electronically just because it's easier for me to then send that list to my evaluator when I'm evaluated. So I don't use this for communication log. I've seen a lot of people repurpose these as reading logs or an event log, but there's definitely many possibilities with all of these lines for sure. And then next you have the calendar for the 2020-2021 school year, and it goes from July 2020 to December 2021. And I like using these pages to track my paychecks, to track no school and school events. It's just a really quick glance, and I use those transparent dots that I think came in one of the teacher sticker books. Let me check real quick. Okay, so these are the ones that I use on this, and I think these are the ones from last year, and these here are the ones that come in the new teacher sticker book, and it has they're slightly different color. I think it's to match the retro design a little bit more. They're not as bright as these, but those are the ones that come in the new teacher planner, or teacher sticker book, sorry. And those are the ones that I used here. And they work so well because at a glance, you can really see, if you color code it, what's going on in each month. So next you have the calendar again, but with some lines from January to December. And I know that for no matter what month you start at, it is gonna start from January over here to December over here, which I know a lot of people really don't like because it doesn't really make sense, since our school year starts either, it starts in the summer or, in the fall. So it doesn't really make sense to have it go from January here to December here. So a lot of people change it, including me. I usually put the first semester here, so from August to December, and then the second semester here from January to May. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of which months were the second semester. But this is a really nice page. I use this as an overview of the pacing guide from last year. So if I'm starting in August, I'll write down what I got done last year in August, and then so on, just so that I can refer back to it and know kind of at what point I was throughout the year last year. That's going to completely change for me this year because I am teaching a different subject, and it's a new curriculum as well. So I'm going to have to sit down and think of something different to use for this year, and then next year, once I've taught this new subject, I will go ahead and go back to using this as a pacing guide from last year. So as I'm flipping through, I'm realizing how much I love these strips of the retro design versus like having big blocks. I do like that it's thin both on the top and the bottom. You can see that it's consistent on these pages, and I think it just looks so simple and pretty. And then let me flip to the next page, which are the graphs. This one's a little bit more It's a little wider, but it's still very pretty. I love the rounded corners as well. So you actually get 1, 2, and then 3, 4 pages of the graph paper. I see many people use this for seating charts or trackers. I used it to write my unit target, but again, if we're having a new curriculum this year, I don't really know yet what I'm going to be writing here, but it's definitely a great kind of blank space to just do whatever you want with it. Just so great to have that already incorporated into the planner with the same design, so everything looks really nice and consistent. After the graph pages, you do have a couple of notes pages before the months actually start. I didn't even know that these were here. I don't know if that's how it was last year, so I'll have to go back to my last year teacher planner. But it's so nice to have these extra ones. These don't correlate to a month. They do have, you do get notes pages for each month, but this is just like extra 2 pages, which is really, really nice. As I mentioned, my planner starts in July, so that's where I'm gonna go. I actually had to pop that back in because I had taken it out. I usually don't use July. I usually just leave my planner starting at August, but I just put it back in so you can see how it flows nicely from one page to the other. All right, so here's this, and then you go to July or your first month, and you usually get 2 notes pages for each month at the beginning, and you do get 2 at the end, so I'll show you both. But this is the start. It's really nice. You have the days to remember in July down here, and I believe last year this said birthdays for July, but I can't remember. So by the way, if you want me to do a comparison of this teacher planner with last year's planner, because I am already noticing a few differences, please let me know in the comments and I will definitely do that video next. Just let me know. And I use these notes pages before the months for drafting lessons. So this is all usually full of just my notes of what I want to do in the upcoming month's lessons. So there's your 2 note pages, and then when you flip it, you go to your calendar, and that tab does open to the calendar, which is really nice. So you have your full calendar here, and again, I am noticing some differences from last year. So one thing I noticed right away is that the color for July, which is like this blue color, is only represented in the notes highlighted portion. Everything else is still the retro design, so that's not unique to the month. That is just the design, and I really like these rounded corners. It's such a simple thing to round corners, but it looks just so much cleaner and more professional. I don't know, I really love those rounded corners. That's not what it was like last year. So we'll talk about the calendar, but I want to flip really quickly so you can see what I mean about the colors only represented in the notes pages. So July is blue, August is yellow, so you only see it in the notes. You don't see it. Last year there was like these huge blocks of color. Here it's just very simple. September is purple, so you have that purple. Then October, a little bit of orange. November, a little bit of more blue. December, green, of course, so you can see all those different colors only represented there. January, a lighter blue, and then that's all I have in my planner for now, but it'll be the same for the other months as well. And for this calendar, there's so much space to write. I mean, you are talking about an 8.5 by 11 page, so already you have a ton of space, definitely more than compared to the life planner, of course. And I actually kind of wish there were lines on each square, only because I use the calendar as a current pacing guide. So I write the topic and some of the lessons we'll be doing that day, or I think we'll be doing that day. So it would be really nice to have just lines for me to keep my writing straight, but not a big deal. It's definitely enough space for me. So behind the calendar, you do start then the lesson plans, and this is going to stay the same for each month. So you have your calendar and then your lesson plans immediately following that. And of course you get all of the weeks in July or in your month. So the lesson plans are horizontal, so you get your Monday, Tuesday through Friday, and then at the end you do get this column where you can write some notes or some to-dos. You have that really pretty retro design, which is actually a little bit less opaque than the cover was. It's a little bit light, if you can see that, which is kind of nice. So it doesn't kind of overpower all the other different colors that are going to be on your pages. I actually convert this to a vertical layout because that's just how my brain works. My brain does not work horizontally. Sorry for those horizontal planners, but my vertical is just how I like to plan. And so I actually stamp Monday through Friday, And then I use this right here as a little dashboard. So I end up just keeping Monday through Friday here. I know some people that do it vertical cover these dates because they're doing vertical and not horizontal, but I like keeping it here to put a little bit of washi here, and then you get a nice dashboard. And I put the holidays and any meetings or any important things that are happening, so I can quickly look at the week and I don't have to kind of open it all the way. So these are your lesson pages, and so after your lesson pages, and they're all put together, really nice, you get these 2 more notes pages, and you can see that it's for July just because it has that blue color, and you'll see how that changes in the next month. But you get a full 2 more pages of notes for that month, which is really great. I mean, that's a lot. I do need more most of the time, which is a little crazy, but I do like that now I can just punch those in. But we do start with some really good notes pages already. And so you go into your next month, which it happens to be August, and you can see that again by the color blocks, and it's going to be very much the same layout. Such a nice quote, don't give up, great things take time. Definitely need to hear that today actually, so that resonates with me here. I'm going to flip, and you get your August, very similar to July, just the August color and the retro design, so pretty. And then one thing I did want to emphasize was that what happens when a month goes into the next month. And you saw it with July, but I didn't point it out. So for example, here's what I'm talking about. In September, you get a Monday that's actually in August 31st. So when you go to that lesson page, you will get both of the month's colors, August and September, or whatever months end up overlapping. So I just want to make sure that you knew about that. It does make it a little strange for me just because I go vertical instead of horizontal, but it's not a big deal. Hopefully in the future she does offer some sort of vertical, and you get a choice of vertical or horizontal, just like the life planners. But for now it works for me, and that is okay. So I'm going to flip to the back so I can show you what's there, because all the other months look pretty much the same. Again, you get the 2 notes pages in the front, your calendar, your lessons, and then 2 more notes pages in the back. So let me go ahead and flip. Remember, mine goes to January just because I have 1 semester in here, plus 1 month of the 2nd semester, January. Okay, so here's where my January ends actually. And then my February would start here if I had it here, but it doesn't. One thing I wanted to show you was that at the end of your months, you do get another 2 of these nice notes pages with the retro design. So very similar to how we saw it in the way beginning. Let me see if I can turn to it. Right there. So just like this, you will get those 2 here. You don't see it here because I couldn't find my June really quickly, but you do have those 2 there for sure. And I didn't punch these, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the next part that will happen is you'll have those 2 nice notes sheets, then you'll have your checklist, and flip to your checklist pages. And the reason why I didn't punch these is because I actually don't use them. If I do end up using them, I'll just punch them and put them in here, but I don't typically use them just because grading is done all online. And if I use it to track student progress, I would also do that online so that I can share with parents or other teachers more easily. So I don't really typically use these very much, but I did want to show you. So you do get 7 pages for free. It's an extra $5 for 14 total, an extra $8 for 21 total, and an extra $10 for 28 total checklist pages. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of those checklists from from the beginning to the end. Okay, so that's quite a bit, and if you do want to add more, like I said, you do have those options. It's just going to be extra. Now that I'm looking at them a little bit more, I do realize that I probably should use them just because they're here and they're really pretty useful. I mean, if you can really find something to use them for, so I will definitely be thinking more about that this summer. So once you're done with your checklist, then you go into this back sheet and your stickers. So you actually get 4 sticker pages, and I only have 1 in here because I was really excited when I got this planner. Didn't think about doing a review video, so I only kept the stickers that I would use maybe every day that I can get really quickly. So these are just the tab stickers, and they're so nice. You have that silver foil. The rest of my stickers are actually in here, already organized, already cut up, because this 8.5 by 11 sheet doesn't fit in these photo binders. And if you don't have these and haven't heard of them or haven't seen them, I will definitely have that link down below for you guys. But this is where I keep all of my teacher planner stickers. So, oh, this was out apparently. So I have all the stickers from all of my other editions of teacher planners. I've had like 3 years worth, and all of the teacher planner sticker books as well. So whatever I got here for those other 3 pages, they're somewhere in here that I already organized. But I will have some pictures of that now for you guys. And if you do want to see the organization of my stickers and my crazy index, definitely leave me a comment down below and I can do a video on that as well. So after the stickers, you get 4 sheets. You do get this sheet protector, and I haven't put this in here as well just because, again, I can just insert any pages that I want. And if you're buying the binder, you can do that as well, unless you want to still use this to put in your binder and just have more protection for a page or a few. I actually tried to punch this for the disc, and I think I messed it up because they were a little bit too, I didn't line it up, and so now it's hanging off from the bottom, which is fine. Again, I was just practicing. And by the way, I don't know how this looks in the binder, so let me go ahead and show you that. I didn't try. This is the one that comes with the binder, so it doesn't have the 3-hole punch. It has the spiral punch like the coiled ones. So I'm assuming if you put it just in one of the holes. I don't know which one, guys. I haven't tried this actually. Oh, is this actually supposed to fit? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I tried a little while and I couldn't figure out which holes it's supposed to go in so that it works. It kind of seems like it works here, but then there's like, the hole is not lined up. So let me know in the comments if you have the binder and if this is supposed to go in here. I mean, I'm assuming it's supposed to go in here if it was supposed to be, if it came with it. Yeah, so I actually don't know, guys. And the punches I did aren't interfering. It's just I can't figure out which holes it's supposed to go in order to work, and I don't think there were any instructions on it, so definitely let me know because it doesn't seem like it's working for me here. So like I said, you do get this with the binder or the coiled, and you get 1 free sheet protector, or you can pay $2 for 2 total or $3 for 3 total. So you do have those options as well. So after this, you do have the nice pretty folder that you always get with the design of your planner, which in this case is the retro design, and these are actually hole punched for the binder, so that should fit in really nicely, unlike this. I don't know what's going on with that. So I'm sorry if it's just me that I can't figure it out quickly, but it wasn't working. But this folder should be fine, and actually let me take it out and show you how that looks in here. So with the folder, oops, I bumped my camera, this binder is so big. So this fits in here, and with this folder, flip it over and it seems to work pretty okay. And with the folder, you do get the holiday stickers. So all the holidays in the month with this nice foil. These you can choose to put wherever you want and to use whichever ones you want if you don't want to use all of them. I usually put them on the lesson pages, and I'll show you real quickly where I do that. It was on that dashboard that I was saying I use, and I keep the same. So they typically are for the monthly, but because I use this as a pacing guide, I can't really put anything there because it takes up too much space. So I just put them here, and they fit perfectly there because I have this as a dashboard and I can just quickly see if there's any holidays coming up. But they're very nice, and you actually get a few empty ones so you can write your own holidays or your own events. It's really nice that you get kind of a lot for each month, except September apparently, because it has all of them filled in. But for the rest of the months, you do get at least some. So just quickly as a side note, after I finished kind of filming everything else, I realized I didn't tell you that the dashboards do not fit on the binder. So I'm gonna go ahead and open and show you that they do not fit and they will not work on this binder. So no matter what I tried, no matter what hole I kind of put it in, it is not going to work for you. Okay, just something to be aware of, that these dashboards that are made for teachers are not going to work with the binder. I used this one all the time last year, but then I realized that I got really tired of having to erase my to-dos because I always filled it up all the way. So I'm just going to be using a notebook for my to-dos. But again, these do not fit, just so you're aware. So overall, I do love the Erin Condren teacher planners. I have been using them for 3 years now. There are a few pages that I sometimes don't use for sure, but I will definitely be thinking more about how to repurpose them. I don't think I've done that in the past, just sitting down to think about how to use something that I already have. But that con, if you want to call it a con, does not outweigh the pros of the design, which I think is so much more beautiful this year. And the functionality of the pages is perfect for me, even though I do customize them. I still love the layout of it. The quality of the paper, which I know we all love, especially in the life planner as well. We always come back to Erin Condren for that paper. And, as a teacher, I think it's important to have something durable because my planner gets moved around so much. It's taken from here to there, used every single day, is open on my desk like this every single day, so the pages are coming in contact with a lot of different surfaces. It just needs to be durable for me, and they need to be strong. And these covers also really help in protecting the pages, and like I said before, the binder is pretty durable, and I think it will hold up for an entire year of taking it from here to there. And even though I did convert mine to disc, I would still recommend the binder for those of you that want to add more pages easily. If this binder does not work for you, then you can use any binder that best suits you, because the pages are punched in that standard 3-hole punch way. I actually plan to store my pages, so these, because if you notice, they still have the 3 holes in this binder at the end of the year. So if you choose to use a different binder or the discs during the school year, you can still have this really, really pretty binder as storage at the very end. And so I hope this video has given you a better look at this new planner and binder system, as well a little bit as my disc system, and has helped you in your decisions for this next school year, which we don't know exactly what it will look like, right? But I know I will be ready to plan anything in this beautiful planner. I will be doing a setup video of this planner in the future, and if requested, I will do a comparison of this one with last year's 2019 planner. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see those videos or any other ones I create for you all. Be sure to leave me a comment or any questions you may have, and thanks so much for watching.